And now for the starting lineups. First, for the Flying Fleet. Number 5, Jonas Smith. Number 2, Ryan Carter. Number 21, Katie George. Number 23, Rebecca Cassidy. Number 24, JoJo Taylor. Number 32, Randy Wilson. And number 33, Rachel Meyer. The Flying Fleet is coached by Heather Budget and is assisted by President James. Starting lineups for your Warriors. A freshman from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, number 1, Darby Sheen. A senior from Sumter, South Carolina, number 6, Courtney Price. A sophomore from Anderson, South Carolina, number 10, Olivia Johnson. A junior from Central South Carolina, number 12, Anna Martin. A senior from Piedmont, South Carolina, number 14, Monica Jones. A junior from Simpsonville, South Carolina, number 16, Sarah Stone. And in libero tonight, a senior from Port St. Lucie, Florida, number 9, Katie Anderson. The Warriors are coached by Julie Reiniga, who is assisted by Lindsay Snyder and Tyler Watt. We now ask that you will please stand and remove all hats for prayer and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for another day on this earth. We ask that you would keep all of these competitors safe and that everything done here would be for your glory. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another broadcast here on the SWU Sports Network. My name is Harley Staten. Here with me is Athletic Director Chris Williams, and tonight we have got another Conference Carolinas volleyball matchup between the Erskine Flying Fleet and your Warriors. Chris, thanks again for joining me on the broadcast. Always a pleasure to have you up in the booth.
It's going to be a good one here in historic Tysinger tonight.
Erskine jumps up to an early 1-0 lead. Stone trying to get it across, unable to do so. And the Fleet will go up 2-0. Starting lineup for the Flying Fleet tonight. Jonna Smith, followed by Riley Bartlett, Katie Torgerson, Rebecca Massengill, JoJo Taylor, Maddie Wilson, and in libero, Rachel Meyer. Off the ceiling, that'll be a point for the Warriors. Starting for them tonight, freshman Darby Sheets, senior Courtney Price, senior Katie Anderson, also playing libero, sophomore Olivia Johnson, junior Anna Martin, senior Annika Jones, and junior Sarah Stone. Slam down. That's going to be a point for the Flying Fleet.
Looks like one of the Warriors was into the net, even though that point was going to be a point for the Flying Fleet anyways. 3-1 here for the Fleet.
Serving for the Fleet, number 21. Set up nicely. Attack here on the near side. Popped up. Gonna bounce off the ceiling. That'll be a point for the Warriors.
Good block there by Sarah Stone. Wasn't sure who was with her, but Stone had her hands on that one and was able to negate anything for the Flying Fleet there.
Katie Anderson serving for the Warriors. Fleet are just going to have to knock it back across. Jones setting up Hendricks. Gets it down, point for the Warriors.
Good action there by the Warriors. They had an opportunity to go inside with it and went outside away from the block.
Knocked across. Popped up by Jones. Slammed across by Sheets. So now Warriors on top 4-3. Anderson knocks it over. Slammed by Price. That's going to get down, point for the Warriors. So after being down 2-0 on a 5-1 stretch here to take a 5-3 lead. Anderson serves again. Doesn't get over the net. Another point for the Warriors. Popped back up, good save by number 24 for the Fleet. Knocked back across, Anderson is there, Jones setting up Hendricks, little tip over, gets down, point for the Warriors.
Great job there by Hendricks and the Warriors. She did a really nice job of seeing what was in front of her and went up and over it instead of trying to go through it.
Anderson serving again, Warriors with a 7-3 lead, unable to get that one over the net. So now they will hand it over to Erskine. A little substitution first. Knocked across. Jones setting up Price. That one gets in there.
Great effort there again by the Warriors. Straight down the middle for Price, who goes off the block and down for the point. Warriors looking sharp early.
Knocked across by Haley Martin. Set up, attack by the Fleet, gets out of bounds. Last touch by the Warriors.
Looks like Massengill, number 23, the sophomore out of Brentwood, Tennessee, with a point for the Fleet.
Anderson, first one to get her hands on it. Hendricks gets it across. Another point for the Warriors.
Anna Martin in for the Warriors, replacing Hendricks.
Martin serves. Fleet setting up here on the near side, gets it across. Martin, Jones, Johnson gets it over. Good save by the libero. Knocked across, that's going to get down right in the corner.
Great placement by the Fleet there to find the hole on the left side of the Warriors defense.
Serve here by number 23, Rebecca Massengill. Anderson just going to have to knock it over. Warriors did not get the look they wanted. That's going to get inbounds after a strike by Katie Torgerson.
Flying Fleet a little bit more organized on their attack, the last two, and it results in 2 points.
Warriors still on top, 9-7 as Massengill serves again. Good save, but it's going to be in vain as that ball goes out of bounds. Point for the Fleet. After being ahead by several, now the lead is only 1 for the Warriors. Served across. Martin, Jones, Johnson. That's going to go into the stands. Point for the Warriors.
That's just straight power there by Johnson. Good setup, and she just put it away all the way into the Warrior sign here in historic Tysinger. Little delay. I'm not really sure if we've got we're waiting on substitution. I thought we were waiting on something else here. But getting the rotation right and make sure we got it right in the book across the way.
Everybody gives the go-ahead. Senior Courtney Price from Sumter, South Carolina, serves it across for the Warriors. Slam, good block by the Warriors. Point SWU.
Jones and Stone on the block for the Warriors.
Helps to have your tallest players right there on the line. Knocked right back across by the Fleet. Jones setting up Johnson. That's going to get out of bounds. Another point for the Warriors.
Warriors energizing this crowd, and even with the Southern Wesleyan on break, there's a decent crowd here who's into it early.
Massengill gets it across. Jones setting up Johnson. Good save by the libero, but that's going to land out of bounds.
Johnson is just straight power, and there was nothing that the Flying Fleet could do. 13-8 Warriors lead here in set 1.
Price serves again. Whistle blows. That'll be another point for the Warriors.
Must have been in a bad alignment to start that.
Head coach Heather Vajen sends Riley Bartlett over to ask what the infraction was on. Warriors coming in could really use this conference. Carolina's win, sitting at 7th place overall. I believe the Warriors are 3-6 in conference Carolina's play.
Yeah, Erskine sits at 3-3 right now. So this is a kind of a position game. The two would flip-flop if the Warriors would win today. Like you said, it's an important one because tomorrow they play 2nd place Emmanuel at 6-1, trailing Barton at 6-0. Long delay. Erskine coaches seems to feel pretty confident in her question, and the up ref continues to try to understand the explanation, I think. Looks like it's going to fall on deaf ears. And it's still going to be point for Southern Wesleyan.
So after that long delay, Price will serve again. Tipped up, have to get it across. Knocked up by Jones. Stone slams it right back down for the Warriors.
That was Torgerson on the block. 5'10" freshman out of Somerville knocks it back into the offensive side of the Warriors.
That delay was almost as good as a timeout for Erskine without burning one. So we'll see Maddie Wilson serving it across for the Flying Fleet. Jones, little tip over. I thought that ball was down. Great save by the Flying Fleet. Still tipped up. Anderson able to get it back over after a couple diving attempts. Pooched across, out of bounds.
Wow.
For the Warriors.
Great effort by both sides there, but the Warriors end up with the point. Now lead 15-9.
This game, I think, is very big for the Warriors just for the fact that they started off 0-6 in Conference Carolina's play. Now able to rattle off 3 straight wins. Knocked up. Stone tips it across. Out of bounds, though. It'll be a point for the Flying Fleet.
Like the thought process there, just a little wide on the effort. You're right, the Warriors have had to endure some early season injuries and then just lineup changes, and hopefully by now we're starting to see who's really going to be with us.
Johnson slams it across from long range. Tipped up, has to be poked over. Jones setting up Sheets. Gets down, point for the Warriors.
She cut that straight across in front of the Erskine bench and found the open spot. Point Warriors there, 16-10 now.
Annika Jones, leader in assists for the last 2 years for the Warriors, leading in assists again this year. Knocked across, good defense for the Warriors.
Hendricks and Stone again, doing a great job on the right side of the net. Big block, big defense, and right now a big lead at 17-10.
So after that, consecutive points by the Warriors, head coach Heather Vajen will call a timeout. We're going to take a quick break here on the SWU Sports Network. When we come back, the conclusion of this first period. So after the first timeout by the Flying Fleet, Annika Jones back to serve again for the Warriors, up 17-10. Jones, Sheets gets it down, point for the Warriors.
Sheets again, floats, gets a pretty good hit on it, and finds the open spot deep center in the Fleet defense.
Warriors now with their biggest lead of the day, 8 points as Jones serves it again. Knocked across by number 10, that's Riley Bartlett.
Bartlett was able to go right through the block of Stone and Hendricks that time. See if the Fleet were able to slow down the attack of the Warriors with that point.
Sheets knocks it up, Jones. Johnson gets it across, have to hit it all the way back on the out-of-bounds line pretty much. Jones unable to get down and pick that ball up, so that'll be a point for the Flying Fleet, 2 in a row for them. Warriors still sitting with a 6-point advantage here in the first set. Good save there by Johnson. Anderson will tip it over. Set up, attack, that gets down. Lightning speed from JoJo Taylor.
Taylor really put that one into the floor. Momentum now with the Flying Fleet. Let's see if the Warriors can change it.
Served across by Torgerson. Out of bounds, point for the Warriors.
That was favorable for Southern Wesleyan to get that slowed down because the Fleet were starting to really feel it.
Slammed across, last touch by Hendricks and Price. That'll be another point for the Fleet.
Looked like number 10, Bartlett, the 5'11 sophomore out of Lexington, South Carolina, with the point for the Fleet.
So now we'll see Annie Franklin serving it across. Anderson, Jones, Hendricks. Out of bounds, point for the Fleet.
Hendricks just couldn't get enough of her hand on that one. It hit the outside of her hand and floated wide.
Warriors 8-point lead now cut in half to 4. Franklin serves again. Anderson, Jones, Sheets. Tipped over, but Price is there. Point for the Warriors.
Great play by Price to anticipate that, floating back across the net, and puts it down with two hands for the point for the Warriors. And to be honest with you, when you get to 20, you usually win the set.
Warriors hoping for that here. Good save by the Fleet. Jones, Price, little tip over, gets down, 21-15.
Love the intellectual play today by the Warriors. Able to see what's in front of them and to be able to bypass blocks and also to go over top of blocks. Excellent choices today by the Warriors.
Bartlett slams it across, gets back down, point for the Warriors.
22-15 here in set one. Warriors pushed it back out.
Right down the middle for the Fleet.
Nice job by the Fleet. I think it was number 32 who just dumped it over right in the middle of the Warriors defense.
So now Bartlett, who we've seen attack on the far side lately, serves it, doesn't get it over the net. My favorite kind of points are the points where we don't have to do anything. 23-16 now for the Warriors. Anna Martin coming in to serve. Serves it across, popped up by Franklin, set up, knocked across Anderson. Jones setting up Johnson. Was a last touch. They're going to say no. That'll be a point for the Flying Fleet.
Pretty good swing at it for Johnson there. She just probably opened her shoulders a little too quick, trying to snap it down the left line.
Massengill serves it over. Anderson's there. Jones setting up Price. Gets it down right where nobody's at. After that, Price will head back to serve. Warriors trying to win only their 6th set of the season in Conference Carolinas play. So this is big right here to equate the rest of this game. Out of bounds, 24-18 now. Flying Fleet trailing by 6.
Firepower back in for the Fleet. That's number 24, JoJo Taylor, subbing back in.
Knocked across. Martin picks it up off the floor. Stone slams right back down.
And that's Taylor and Torgerson on the block for the Flying Fleet.
Fleet still control their own destiny, as long as they don't mess up, they can still win this set. Served across by Wilson. Anderson Jones, Johnson gets down out of bounds. Warriors take set 1. So Warriors, as you said, Chris, playing mentally tough today, making smart plays, intellectual plays, and just out hustling the Fleet right now. Fleet have some firepower, though, that should make for an interesting set. A lot of lightning speed on their side, especially by Taylor and Bartlett here on the near and far side. We're going to take a quick break here on the SWU Sports Network. When we come back, Warriors are on top 1-0, and we'll take you to set number 2. Set number 2 action underway for the Warriors. Maddie Wilson serving it across for the Fleet. Sheets slams it over. Taylor doesn't get it over the net, point for the Warriors.
Yeah, Taylor just out-jumped that set into the net. Just some great energy here in historic Tysinger with SWU's campus being on fall break. Of course, it's always loud here in historic Tysinger, regardless if there's 1 or 1,000 people.
Knocked across by Bartlett. Jones, Sheets, out of bounds, point for the Warriors.
Again, nice job by Sheets and the Warriors, even to find blocks and to be able to ricochet it out of play. Those count the same.
Another point for the Warriors. Heather Vajen does not look happy about this one.
There's some kind of rotation that the refs are seeing, and they're trying to explain right now. And now it seems that
they're going to take away a point for
Yep.
the Warriors. That was the official's fault. Vajen looking like she could use a fall break.
I don't blame her at this point after a couple of those calls that seemingly didn't make any sense.
Jones serves it across for the Warriors. Now it is 2-0. Knocked across by Bartlett. Johnson gets a hand on it, but not enough.
Bartlett finds the spot in the deep corner where no Warrior was. Bartlett and Taylor really are a 1-2 combo for this Flying Fleet team.
Served across by Fralix. Sheets slams it down, saved by the libero. Knocked up, slammed across, out of bounds, point for the Warriors.
Pretty good swing there by the Fleet. And the Warriors didn't touch it, so it slides just out of bounds. Point for the Warriors, and the Warriors are off to another good start here in set 2.
Anderson serving it across. Popped up by Fralix. Libero. Smith gets it over. Jones, Price, little pop. Gets down, point for the Warriors.
Again, just intellectual playing there. The set was a little low and behind her, and she just had great composure to, instead of jumping, she stayed on the ground and just popped it over.
Anderson serve just gets over the net. She's the first one to touch it next go around. Hendricks gets it over. Wilson trying to trick the Warriors in that middle zone. Sheets slams it. Gonna get down, another point for the Warriors.
SWU.
The Warriors play tomorrow against Emmanuel College right back here for a 2 p.m. tip for first serve.
Little back and forth. Both possessions sloppy to start off. See if the Warriors can get set. Sheets gets it over. Good save by the libero. Knocked over by Smith. Jones setting up Hendricks. Gets it across. Popped up by Wilson. Setting up Smith. Doesn't get over the net. Point for the Warriors.
Yeah, pretty good rally by both teams there. Composure by the Warriors results in a point in a 6-1 lead here in set 2.
Little short serve by Anderson. Knocked across but out of bounds.
Coach Tyler doing a lot more standing today as Coach Reiniga is under the weather.
Doesn't get over the net. Another point for the Warriors.
Might be a timeout here with the Warriors up 8-1.
That's a good call. Heather Vajen calls timeout for the Fleet. Warriors storming in front here in set number 2, up 8-1 as we head to a break. So after the timeout by Heather Vajen, 8-1 Warriors, served across by Anderson. Smith slams it across. So right now the Fleet know how to use their timeouts.
Smith put it away, the 5'7" sophomore out of Orange Park, Florida.
They've had a point every time they've come out of timeout, even the fake timeout in the first period. Slammed across by Sheets. Smith gonna get it way over and out of bounds.
Number 13, Haley Martin in to serve for the Warriors.
Served across, Smith, Wilson, little tip over. That's gonna land in the official's arms, point for the Flying Fleet.
Warriors had a good block up, but it was one of those that just kind of snuck across the net. A little bit more power coming from the Flying Fleet. Scored the point for Erskine.
Bartlett set to serve. Gets across, Martin's there, Jones, Price slams it home. Popped up in the air, nobody's gonna get to it.
In other action, the women's soccer team is at Converse today, and late second half, the Warriors lead 2-1.
Served across by Anna Martin this time, sister to Haley Martin. Martin pops it up. Jones trying to get it back, hits off the ceiling. Martin gets it over. Tipped up, slammed across, right in the open field where nobody was. 10-4 Warriors.
Looked like number 21, Torgerson, with the power to the floor. Point Erskine there. Also waiting on results from the cross-country teams as they competed in Charlotte today in the Queen Royals cross-country challenge.
So after a little bit of bouncing around, that ball is just going to fall. Warriors unable to do anything there. Otherwise, it would have been an extra touch. Jonna Smith set to serve again. This game was 8-1. Now it's 10-5. Price, little tip over. Hits the pole, point for the Warriors.
Again, great job by the Warriors, seeing what's in front of them and working around it. Just great effort, great composure today by your Warriors.
Price's serve won't get across the net. So now we will see Katie Torgerson for the Flying Fleet. Torgerson serves, doesn't get over the net. My favorite kind of point for the Warriors as they double up the Fleet now with a 12-6 lead here in set number 2. Warriors took set 1 by a final of 25-19. Would love to see Southern Wesleyan jump out on top 2-0 in this contest. Tipped up, slammed across by Taylor. Johnson's there. Jones, Sheets. Saved by the libero. Going to be knocked across by Massengill. Jones setting up Stone. Popped up by Bartlett. The libero knocks it up. Taylor didn't get the heat under it she wanted. Jones pops it up. Johnson has to knock it over. Set up by Bartlett. Taylor slams it. Johnson is there. Somebody going to be able to get it. It's off the ceiling. Stone knocks it over. Another diving stop by the libero. Smith has to send it. Anderson Jones tip over right in the middle where nobody is. Point Warriors.
Wow. That was some fun volleyball right there. Both teams was just some great action. Warriors win the point in the end.
Johnson serves it across. Lightning speed. My goodness.
Wow. Well, that was like a Major League Baseball screwball as that thing just kind of levitated across and dove straight into the floor for the point.
So and after the ace by Johnson, Heather Vajen taking the second timeout here in set number 2. pretty much needed to, because all of the momentum had shifted to the Warriors side after that. So, Chris, this is an interesting matchup after the Warriors had some stumbling starting off in Conference Carolina. They've rattled off several wins. Last time the Warriors played this team, they got swept 3-0. And now coming out this time, took a commanding lead in set number 1, ended up winning 25-19. Now taking full charge here in set number 2, being up by 8 points, 14-6. And Erskine just doesn't look like it has an answer for the Warriors' athleticism so far.
Not so far today. The Warriors' hitting percentage at .234. Erskine at .038.
I'll take those odds in our favor any day of the week.
That's some pretty good hitting there by your Warriors. Also blocks. There's 5 by the Warriors, 2 by the Fleet. And right now, I keep using the word intellectual, but the Warriors are really thinking through this game. And then the effort has been there as well.
So after that timeout, Warriors will send Johnson back to serve. After that fastball for strike 3 came up a second ago. Bartlett's not going to be able to get to that one. Another point for the Warriors.
15-6 here in set 2, favor of the Warriors.
Goodness gracious, that ball is coming at the Fleet fast by Johnson. Out of bounds, point for the Warriors.
That attack there by Taylor just stayed in the air a little bit too long. The Fleet now down by 10.
Served across by Johnson, popped up by the libero. Little tip over by Stone, point for the Warriors.
I'm going to tell you what, Johnson serving the last number of points. Her serve is looking like a rocket today.
Surprised Johnson doesn't lead the team in aces. That actually evolves to Annika Jones. Although after the heat she's been bringing, you understand why she leads the team in kills.
Yes, sir. 17-7, maintain the 10-point lead.
Maddie Wilson set to serve for the Flying Fleet. Knocked across, Johnson saves it. Doesn't get across, Sheets pops it up. Wilson setting up Taylor. Good save by Anderson. Sheets knocks it over. Wilson, Bartlett, Anderson, Jones, Sheets. They're going to go out of bounds. Who's that a point for? The Fleet.
Yeah, it looked like it was into the tape and didn't ever get across into anybody from the Flying Fleet.
That's one of the longest calls, or one of the longest times I've ever had to wait for a point to be called in a volleyball match. Served across by Wilson. Jones setting up Sheets. Up in the air. Over the net. Stone. Jones just outplays Bartlett right there for the point.
The senior, the 5'8" senior, just had more power with her right arm extended over the net and pushed it down to the floor.
Jones serves it across. Smith pops it up. Slammed down by Sheets.
Unlucky there for the Warriors.
Popped up by Jones. Hendricks will knock it across. That's going to get down, point for the Warriors.
The Warriors really deserved that point. Off the earlier slam, it ricocheted off of Erskine and was playable. That one dribbles to the floor for the point for the Warriors.
Warriors on top by 11. Wilson tried to knock it over, hit the net, but it's actually going to work out for the Fleet.
Quick update on women's soccer. The Warriors just knocked in the third one in the back of the net. Now lead 3-1.
(19-9) here in set number 2. Warriors already up 1-0. Jones setting up Stone. Little tip over, but Smith was having none of that.
Yeah, nice job there by the Fleet. Had the block set, just touched it to the floor.
Knocked over by Fralix. Jones. Hendricks hits it over. Smith is the first one to touch it, followed by Wilson, then Bartlett. Jones. Sheets. Slammed down by number 23, Massengill.
Massengill with some great emotion there after the point. Little bit of a momentum switch here as the Warriors seem to have relaxed just a touch with the big lead.
Knocked across. Jones setting up Hendricks, slams it down, gets in there. Warriors up to 20.
Pretty good answer. And Hendricks answers with their own emotion. Maybe that's what the Warriors needed to finish this thing out.
Anderson serves it across. That ball's going to hit the scores table. Point for the Warriors. Warriors back up to a 10-point lead now, 21-11. Anderson serves it again. Ball's up in the air. Set up by Wilson. Smith pops it over. Anderson, Jones, Johnson. Popped up, heading out of bounds, but Fleet have to play it. Anderson, Jones, Price, little tip over. Bartlett's there. Good save by the Fleet. Jones to Sheets. Gonna get down, point for the Warriors.
Everything going the Warriors' way. Ball goes into the tape, rides it down the side and to the floor inbounds.
Darby Sheets playing very well in the audience of her sister, Shelby Sheets, who was a longtime starter for the Warriors.
Point there for Erskine. Tough play off of the ceiling. Brought the ball straight down into the net. Very difficult to get that one back across.
Jones, Sheets gets down 23-12.
Warriors are clicking in set two. Already up 1 set to love here in historic Tysinger.
Haley Martin serving for the Warriors. Just need 2 to win set 2. Slammed down by number 21, Katie Torgerson for the Flying Fleet. Knocked across. Martin, Jones, Hendricks. That ball tailed out of bounds, saved by the libero, knocking it back over. Popped up. Johnson's having none of it. That gets down.
Good play by the Flying Fleet, which had the Warriors get another opportunity on the attack. And the Warriors, and I believe that was Johnson, put it away.
Chris, would you like to get hit by a ball in the face by Johnson that ricocheted off the floor once?
No.
I wouldn't either.
Great effort.
Warriors able to save it. Libero, Bartlett slammed down. Fleet still alive.
Bartlett cut it off of her hand to the right for the point. Keeps them alive, though down 10 here in set 2.
Smith going to serve it across here. Warriors still only need 1 off the net. Price out of bounds. That'll be a point for the Fleet.
Set slightly behind her there, and she had to go back for it, which then left the ball in the air a little longer than she wanted.
So now Smith back to serve again for the Fleet. Warriors up by 9. Jones up, Johnson. Good defense by the Fleet. That is Wilson and Torgerson.
A nice block there by Erskine. Finds the left corner, and the Warriors stuck on 24.
Smith serves again. Martin knocks it up. Over to Martin. Anderson hits it over. Good save by Meyer. Tipped over, gets down.
Warriors can't seem to get anything clean right now to get a good swing. Still a 7-point lead here in set 2. Reiniger turned and said no timeout yet.
Popped up by Martin. Jones, Johnson. That's going to be a point for the Warriors. That'll do it here in set number 2. Warriors jump out on top 2-0. Claim set 2, 25-17. Little scare there as the Fleet trying to put some life in, but fortunately for the Warriors, too little, too late. And Chris, before we go to break, you want to update us on women's soccer?
Yeah, unreal. The floodgates just popped open. They were up 2-1, and at the 44:01 mark, score again, 3-1, and then again at 4-1. Rachel Curtis now with 2 goals in the game. Look like they're about to close this one out with just under 5 minutes to go.
So women's soccer on top of Converse right now, 4-1. Looks like the Warriors are hoping to do the same thing here in historic Tysinger to the Flying Fleet. We're going to take a quick break here on the SWU Sports Network, but in just a little over 2 minutes, we will have you back into the action. Hoping to see a Warriors sweep here after 3 sets. Ready to get set 3 action underway here on the SWU Sports Network. Warriors with a commanding lead in set number 2, at 1 point up by 11. Ended up taking the set 25-17 after taking set number 1 25-19. In play for the Warriors right now, Annika Jones, Sarah Stone, Darby Sheets, Anna Martin, Katie Richardson, and Olivia Johnson. Johnson starts us off in set number 3 with a serve. Wilson setting up Bartlett. Doesn't get over the net. Point for the Warriors.
SWU.
Another serve by Johnson. With Johnson at the helm serving, that's when the Warriors went on their biggest run in set number 2.
Bartlett with the big point there for the Flying Fleet. Taylor in, Franklin out for the Fleet.
Served by Jonas Smith. Jones setting up Sheets, little tip over. Fleet see it coming, don't feel like getting into the stands. Point Warriors.
Hendricks back in. Anna Martin subbed out.
Knocked across by Jones, out of bounds. President Todd Voss walks in, Warriors lose a point. So now number 23, Rebecca Massengill, serves it across. Jones setting up Hendricks. Good save there by Wilson for the Flying Fleet. I couldn't believe that ball got over the net and stayed in bounds. Fleet's going to come away with a point on that one.
It was ricocheting around, and the Fleet were able then to control it and pop it over.
So now Wilson back to serve again. Wilson, sophomore from Lake Placid, Florida. One of my least favorite horror movies of all time.
What one's that?
Lake Placid. It's the one with the giant alligator. It's real cliche, rather boring.
Point for the Flying Fleet.
Whistle blows for the serve goes off.
Not sure we were ready. They didn't get the ceremonial whistle and arm wave for the serve.
So now Wilson back to serve again. Gets it across. Popped up, Hendricks gets it, gets down, point for the Warriors.
Hendricks pops it through Torgerson and Taylor's block. So through the block and to the floor for the point. Warriors within one.
Anderson serving again. Popped up by Bartlett. Wilson knocking it across is Torgerson. Jones. That's Sheets, not Johnson. Wilson gets it over. Jones. Johnson. Sheets. Popped up by Meyer. Slammed across by Bartlett, but Price and Hendricks are there. And that's actually going to go out of bounds, so that will not be a point for the Warriors.
Coach Reiniger wanted a double touch there against the Fleet.
Served by Bartlett. Out of bounds. That one will be a point for the Warriors.
Well, good job there by Sheets to let that thing float right by her and out of play.
So now Haley Martin back to serve. A lot of air on this one. Luckily for the Warriors, it didn't matter.
Yeah, that serve floated all the way to the back line. It kind of handcuffed her too. Couldn't get it to the setter into the net.
Luckily, Torgerson hit it. I don't even think it would have been in bounds had she had laid off of it. Johnson saves it. Price hits it over. Taylor gets a piece of it. Jones is there. Anderson setting up Hendricks. It's going to be right to Bartlett. Wilson has to come in. Taylor doesn't get the fire on it that she wants. Anderson's tip's going to hit the net and fall down. That'll be a point for the Fleet.
Great hustle there by Johnson going into the stands. Fleet, though, prevail with the point. They lead by one here in set 3.
Served across by Fralix. Jones, Johnson, that ball is down. That was fast and that was nasty.
Final in women's soccer, Southern Wesleyan 5, Converse 1.
Anna Martin serving it across. Bartlett, Torgerson, popped up. Fleet's not going to be able to handle it. Point for the Warriors.
Great block by Price and Johnson. The battle to the net, won by the Warriors.
Knocked across by Martin. Meyer able to pick it up off the ground. Little tip over. Good save by Martin. Price tried to get it over. The wall was there. Jones, great behind the back knockover. Bartlett setting up Smith. Out of bounds. Point for the Warriors.
Great hustle by the Warriors. That hustle led to a point, an error by the Flying Fleet. Warriors up 2 now.
Knocked across by Martin. Bartlett. Torgerson pushes it over. Jones. Johnson bringing the heat. Did it get down? It did. Point for the Warriors.
You're exactly right. Bringing the heat. Left a little spot on the floor over there.
Knocked across. Heather Vajen not happy with the call. Still arguing with officials. Knocked up by Anderson. Tipped over by Jones. That gets down.
Momentum has switched back across the net to the Warriors. That's going to lead to a timeout by the Flying Fleet. The Warriors lead 10-6 here in set 3.
Warriors rally off 3 straight points, cause Heather Vajen to use a timeout. We're going to take a quick break here on the SWU Sports Network, but when we come back, we'll get you back in the action here in set number 3. So after the timeout by head coach Heather Vajen, Fleet come back out on the field, trailing the Warriors 10-6. Martin serves. Price slams it back. Meyer is there. Smith's going to get it across. Hits off the Warriors' fingers and gets down. Popped up by Martin. Jones. Price right where nobody is. Point Warriors.
Again, the intellectual play by the Warriors has been outstanding tonight. Price was able to see across the net, tipped it to the right, as you said, where nobody was.
Popped up by Bartlett. Slammed across by Massengill. They're going to say that one was out of bounds. I thought it landed in.
I'm with you on that. That sure looked like it was good from up here.
I believe that ball landed in between the free throw lines, and fortunately for the Warriors, no argument. Knocked across, but the wall is there.
Yeah, I actually think that one never made it across the tape. Would have been 4 against Erskine, leading to the point for the Warriors. Momentum has switched again.
Price serves. Bartlett setting up Smith, popped up, just dribbles over the net. They're going to say that is a point for the Fleet.
Carry there, I think, against Johnson and the Warriors. Erskine has got to pull it together. The Warriors are looking for the sweep.
Wilson ready to serve it across. Anderson pops it up. Jones has to come in, doesn't want to step on her head. Smith knocks it over. Anderson pops up. Jones, Johnson. Smith is there. Great deflection. Stone's over. Gets it over. Point for the Warriors.
Great touch there by Stone. Warriors tried to go through the block one time. Bounces back into their own attack zone. And Stone decides to go with the finesse play to finish it off.
Served across by Johnson. Lightning speed again. Knocked over by Massengill. It'll be a point for the Flying Fleet.
That was off Sheets and Stone's block there. They just about had it, but off the fingertips and out of play in favor of the Flying Fleet.
Served across by Smith. Jones pops it up. Martin knocks it over. Wilson slammed over by Massengill. Martin unable to handle it. It's now 14-10.
Massengill with a great slam to the floor there. Not much you could do with that one.
Smith serves. Johnson, Jones, Sheets. Out of bounds. That'll be a point for the Flying Fleet. Popped up by Jones. Sheets slams it. The wall is there. Johnson. Sheets popped up. It'll get over the net. Meyer. Bartlett hits it over. Johnson. Jones. Sheets. Meyer again. Wilson puts it up. Taylor knocks it across. Anderson setting up Sheets. It's out of bounds. Point for the Warriors.
The Warriors' hitting percentage still hovering around 224. Erskine's improved to 121. The Warriors' defense been phenomenal. 7 blocks.
Knocked across by Jones. Up into the ceiling of Tysinger. That'll be another point for the Warriors. Sealing and Tysinger claiming another victim tonight after being relatively quiet in the second set after deciding about 3 different points in set number 1. Served by Jones. Meyer was just not ready.
Yeah, tough play there as Taylor kind of stepped away from the ball at the last second. Kind of handcuffing Meyer. Point Warriors.
We'll take it any way we can. Knocked across by Jones. Popped up by Meyer. Wilson setting up Torgerson. Knocked up by Anderson. Hendricks will knock it over. Meyer to Taylor. Slam, but Stone and Sheets is there. Good defense by the Warriors. They'll come away with a point.
That was 4 touches there against the Flying Fleet as it ends up into the tape. Warriors pushing this thing out, lead by 7, 18-11 here in set 3.
Knocked across by Jones. Popped up.
She's into the net. Point Warriors.
19-11. Warriors now with 8+ point leads in back-to-back sets. Served across by Jones. Whistle blows, another point for the Warriors. Another violation there for the Fleet. I've never seen anything like this in a game.
These rotation issues for the Fleet. And the down ref almost apologizing for having to call it. 20-11 in set 3, and the Warriors honestly have dominated these sets tonight.
Wilson setting up. Nobody was ready. Point for the Warriors. Warriors now up by 10. This is not the same Warriors team that drove up to Due West and lost 3-0 to the Flying Fleet just not even 3 weeks ago. Served by Jones. Popped up. Wilson to Taylor. Gets across. Taylor has lost the heat on it this set. Warriors are taking full advantage. Meyer knocks it up. Smith will knock it over. Anderson, that one probably would have went out of bounds. Sheets is going to get a piece of it. Gets down.
It's 22-11, and I think Erskine's going to let this thing ride.
I would too. Served across by Jones. That looked like it stayed in bounds. Point for the Warriors.
Yeah, that ball just floated, found the end line, and point for the Warriors, who are now 2 away from the sweep.
Another service ace for the team leader, Annika Jones. She'll go back to serve again. Knocked across. Popped up by Wilson. Little tip over right where the Warriors were not.
You called the service ace last time. The Warriors have 10 aces on the match. Their hitting percentage back up to .231.
Massengill serves. Johnson just wasn't prepared for that one. Didn't get her footing right. Unable to pick the ball up off the ground. Luckily for the Warriors, they've got a few points to spare. Massengill serves again. Anderson. Jones, Sheets. Little tip over. That ball is out of bounds. So here we go. Not just a set point, but a match point for the Warriors. Senior Katie Anderson serves it across. Smith. Wilson setting up Torgerson, out of bounds. Warriors sweep the Flying Fleet 3-0. Chris, that was just downright impressive by the Warriors, who, like I said, not even 3 weeks ago went to Due West and got spanked by the Flying Fleet.
Total domination tonight, and the Warriors are getting healthy at the right time here as we go into the second part of conference play. Healthy being relative. Coach Reiniger is pretty sick tonight. Was able to get out of bed and be here, but her team is getting healthy from injuries and really starting to get a rotation down that they're comfortable with.
Fortunately for the Warriors, Reiniger didn't have to play tonight.
Very fortunate.
So a quick look ahead. Warriors will be facing the Emmanuel College Lions tomorrow at 2 p.m. Make sure you tune into the SWU Sports Network. You can catch all of that action live right here. And a quick look ahead, Warriors will be traveling to King next Friday, a week from today. Bristol, Tennessee to take on the Tornadoes. If Warriors are able to win those two games, they will jump to 500 in Conference Carolinas, knocking them up to around 4th place. And at that point, we're talking about hosting. We're not just talking about playoffs at that point.
Right. Right, and a really nice thing here when usually when we're done we pray, and we are joining together with Erskine here as prayer is given. Win or lose, it doesn't really matter, and just the camaraderie and sportsmanship, even in sport.
Head coach Julia Reiniger leading the prayer for the Warriors and the Flying Fleet. Handshakes and claps all around. It is a good night to be a Lady Warrior, Chris. Volleyball comes in here and spanks the Flying Fleet, returning the favor that the Fleet gave to them a couple weeks ago. And the women's soccer team traveling to Converse tonight, putting a beating on the Valkyries by a final of 5-1. So we've still got our men's soccer team set to play a little later on. And then, They play tomorrow. So everybody back in action tomorrow. We will have the volleyball team playing here at 2 o'clock, and you can catch all of that live on the SWU Sports Network. So for everybody up in the press box tonight, I am Harley Staten. I'd like to thank Chris Williams for tuning in and being a part of the broadcast. We will see you guys tomorrow.